It's not a culture, because whiteness is too broad a category. It just lacks substance. Whiteness in the United States was literally created to strip people of their cultures and justify the enslavement of African peoples. I thought that was Christianity's thing. That is how it started, like after Bacon's Rebellion, where Christian European servants fought alongside free and enslaved Africans for better wages. Nope, they just wanted to kick native peoples out of Virginia, and the governor disagreed. The ruling classes freaked out because they didn't want their servants getting together against them. Right, to weaken the alliance, plantation owners gave their Christian servants privileges, and those servants apparently bought into the idea that they were superior, thereby doing exactly what the ruling classes wanted. Plantation owners also used religion to justify enslaving African people for life, saying they were enemies of the faith. Didn't some African slaves become Christian? People actually tried to pass laws to prevent African slaves from being baptized. Those didn't stick. So eventually, as more African slaves became Christian, the laws in Virginia changed. Instead of using Christian to describe a privileged class, they started using white. So whiteness was literally created to justify the lifelong enslavement of African people. Yep, and it was then backed up by prominent leaders like Thomas Jefferson, who by 1785 wasn't spouting Christian supremacy, but rather white supremacy. Jefferson was a white supremacist? Oh yeah, in his notes on the state of Virginia, he said African slaves endured so much, he wondered sometimes if God was a God of wrath and not mercy. But he reasoned that torturing them was okay, because he said they were unintelligent, incapable of creativity or reflection, and didn't really feel grief. And he literally says white people are superior. Sweet Jesus. Yeah, I thought he was the one who said a nation would be great in proportion to how free it is. That chasm between principles and actions is part of what whiteness was created to justify. Huh. It was intended to divide and destroy, to cut us off from our ancestors and one another. And it is still used that way to co-opt white people into participating in systems that oppress everyone, including poor white people. Much like it was used to turn our European indentured servant ancestors against our African brothers and sisters. So yeah, there may be such a thing as white culture, but it should really be called white supremacist culture, because that's what it's been from the beginning.